Edit audio.
I did it with little or no resources, and now I'm trying to make sure that other Black women have access to getting their stories published and having their voices heard.
Hello, and welcome back to the Be Well Sis podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cassandre Dunbar. How has life been treating you? But more importantly, how have you been treating yourself? Honestly, I have been, in some ways, I've been treating myself pretty well because I didn't tell you guys this, but I last year thought that I had early onset dementia because my memory was so shot. I'd walk into rooms several times not knowing what brought me there. And I just couldn't remember certain things that should not have been so hard to retrieve. So I'm like, you know what? My issue probably is that I'm on that phone too damn much. So I told myself at the beginning of the year that I'm really going to focus on long form content, reading books, all of that, just to get away from the phone and get away from the short videos and how it's frying my brain. So today's episode I'm really excited about because for me, it is one of the OGs of Bookstagram. We are having a conversation with Glory Edim, who is the founder, the creator of Well-Read Black Girl. In this conversation, we talk about so much. So the importance of reading, the importance of community, how she has been able to transform a community into something so much larger. Now she has an imprint where she is helping to publish other Black women authors. And it's just really, really a beautiful conversation. And for me, just a lot has just resonated with me so much. So if you are a book lover like I am, if you are looking to be re-inspired and looking for a reason to pick up a book, this is the episode for you. As always, thank you so much for joining. I am so glad you're here. Now let's hop into the conversation. You are, in my book, the original, bookstagrammer, book podcaster that I know, in my world. You know what I mean? So talk to me about how that even came to be, and then we'll talk about where you are presently.
Yeah, so it sounds like ages ago, but in the year 2015, I at that time in my life, I was living in Brooklyn. I was pursuing my creative career in life. I was working full time at an organization called Kickstarter, and I was feeling really cute. I was in Brooklyn, you know.
Okay.
I was dating someone at the time that was really part of my life, and he gifted me this shirt that said Well-Read Black Girl, and the rest is history. I wore that shirt and it attracted folks on the subway. It allowed people to spark up these conversations with me. What are you reading? Have you read Beloved? Do you love The Color Purple by Alice Walker? All these things, because the title, Well-Read Black Girl, it evokes conversations. Like, what does that mean? You know, who is that person? What is the shirt you're wearing? I took that shirt and that idea and turned it into a book club that truly for the first 2 years was really small. I tell folks all the time in the back of in the acknowledgement section of my first book, I name every single woman that came to the book club over those 2 years because every single time we were just gathering and building together, and there was no intention for it to be any bigger than a book club. But because of the love and the support from publishers, from authors, really encouraging me to take it a step further, it then turned into the literary festival, which felt like a family reunion of sorts. Yeah. And then it turned into the podcast. And then it turned into the nonprofit. Step by step, it continued to grow from an idea to really a movement where people were sharing and modeling how to support each other as authors, as creatives. And on the side of that, the organization was growing. Even honestly, I feel like it's beyond me in a lot of ways. You know, there are Well-Read Black Girls book clubs that I'm not necessarily affiliated with, but I'm constantly supporting and giving them a thumbs up online. I'm not the queen of the name, you know, everyone can use it and express it in their own right. What I have developed is I feel like models of possibilities. If you feel you are a well-read Black girl and you're writing and you're pursuing your career with passion and with integrity and with this feeling of abundance, like you can do that. I never want to stop anyone from pursuing their dreams. I really just want to be a cheerleader and an encourager. So it has been a long road, and alongside of it, I've developed my own writing career, and I published my memoir last year. Oh no, not last year, in 2024. I'll say that one again. I published my memoir in 2024 with that intention of trying to determine my own story and realize, who I am as a writer and how I can encourage myself. Also in that time, I became a mom.
Wow.
My son is turning 6 soon. His birthday is coming up. And it just feels so wild that I was just this girl in Brooklyn hosting a book club to now I have, 5 festivals under my belt, and I have 3 books that I've published, and I have this literary imprint where I'm helping other debut writers publish their books.
Wow.
It is beyond my wildest dreams. So I'm very grateful to be in that position of continuing to give back and continuing to show folks that it is possible. You can build a literary career in publishing, despite what they say, despite the idea that quote unquote DEI is no longer trending. Don't get me started on that. That's ridiculous.
Right.
Not get me started. You can have a career. You can be thriving and be a Black woman in publishing. It is clear. It is possible. I did it with little or no resources, and now I'm trying to make sure that other Black women have access to getting their stories published and having their voices heard.
That is beautiful. So talk to me about current day, how you're doing that. So you have the imprint.
Yes. So in 2022, I partnered with Live Right, an incredible publisher. They have published the works of Nicole Dennis Benn, just so many incredible authors. I was working with them on my second anthology called On Girlhood. And as I was working with my editor, Gina, just like the relationship we had was so seamless and felt very nurturing. I just loved her editing style, the questions that she posed. And in that process, I was like, wow, I would love to work with you further. I would love to have the opportunity to learn from you, but also to possibly create an imprint or have a way to just give what you're giving to me. I want to share it with other people. And I don't know, she just was like, oh, yeah, we can do it, in a very casual way. And in my mind, I was like, oh, yeah, we could do this in maybe a few years down the road, maybe in 5-10 years. And she's like, no, we can do this now. She was like, if you want to have a literary series, if you want to work with us in a more formal capacity to publish other people's books, this is a possibility for you. Let's talk through it. Let's set some ideas down on paper. And that's exactly what we did. So we were talking during the pandemic, and then we came out in 2022 with the announcement, and we're able to sign a book maybe a year. We acquired our first books a year or 2 after. But it's going, and it's now live. We've now published 2 books, The Catch by Yarsa Daly Ward, which received such critical acclaim. People are loving the book. It was even chosen as a New York Times book club pick. It's such an excellent book. And I was very grateful that Yarsa trusted Gina and I to edit and just really usher her book into the world. She came from a very unique background where she had lots of poetry published. She has a name for herself in the industry, but this was her first step into fiction. So this is her first debut fiction novel ever. And really, she could have gone anywhere. She could have really gone to any publisher. So I was so excited that she chose me to work with me, to have her book be the first book on well-read Black girl books.
Beautiful.
It meant the world to me. So she was the first one coming out the gate. And And then our second book was with Bistrat Miskebi. It just came out, and already there's amazing conversation about it. And there's also been just a lot of support from independent bookstores, booksellers. So, I just seen like nothing but it going up and up from here. Like she continues to she's on tour right now. We're going to LA together in a couple of weeks. It's just so wonderful to see both women who I've watched their careers evolve over the years. Bistrat was also in my first anthology in 2018.
Wow.
And at that time, she hadn't completed her MFA yet. She wasn't pursuing writing full time in that capacity. She was writing, but not necessarily published. So I've seen both of these women trust me and allowed me to help influence their career. Any success that I have, I want to pass it forward. And I'm trying to do that with both of those writers. And exclusive. We just another person recently too. I can't share the names of this yet, but I just signed the third book and we're working on that too. So the excitement that I feel when I'm working on something and seeing like the writers just get that joy. Like, I'm sure you feel this too. Like when you have like a really good interview or you have like something that you've just been working towards for a really long time and you just see it
come to fruition. Yes.
Yeah, it's just like so good. It's so good for your soul,
Yes. And honestly, just listening to you right now and just seeing you, like your joy in what you're saying, like if it's palpable, you know what I mean? Like it's not words, it's not empty words. Like you really are feeling and embodying what you're saying. And for the women who have signed with you, it makes sense. I think not only because of your enthusiasm, your experience, but I think also as an outsider looking in, like you have done like the complete, like you've done all of it. Like you've been an editor, you've been an author, you've been just a book enthusiast. So it makes sense. Like you are the perfect hands to be in.
Oh, thank you. I really that feels really great to hear because even with all these experiences, I still have my moments of doubt too, of trying to figure out, am I doing it the right way? Are people receptive? Is it, is the algorithm responding? There's just all these things that you're still contending with that you have to really know how to, manage them and not internalize them.
Yeah.
And know that everything is happening the way it should.
Yeah.
Which can sound, a little cliche, but it is really true. I do my best to plant lots of seeds and know that I have to water them. I have to pay attention. I have to just like slow down when necessary. But if I continue to just kind of do that steady work day by day, it will continue to grow.
Exactly. I love that. And, as you were talking, I was thinking about how my bad trait is that I'll plant a seed and then I'm going to look at the dirt like, all right, I need for you to sprout like right now.
Right now. Go.
Yes. Why isn't anything happening? It's been 24 hours, right?
That's me in the gym. I'd be like, look, I did 4 squats.
Yes. Where is it?
Where is it? Hey.
Yes. But that's such a really beautiful reminder, especially since I feel like such a hypocrite right now because I always tell my oldest son, how do you eat an elephant? Bite, bite, bite. Nope. Meanwhile, I take a bite. I'm just like, why isn't the elephant gone? So it's really important for us to like stay busy, stay active, know what the bigger picture is, what the bigger goal is, and keep doing a little bit till you get there, and you will get there.
Yes.
So talk to me as somebody who has so much going on professionally and you are a parent to a 6-year-old and that's, they depend on you a lot. How do you find some balance in your creative life, your professional life, and then also like your family life?
Oh, yeah. So much of it is about my calendar. Like I do go into my calendar and schedule time. Like, okay, this is when I'm getting a massage or this is when I'm taking a walk. I take a daily walk every day after when I drop off my son to school. There's like a longer way that I can take that's like a path by my house, like a bike trail basically. And I intentionally take that and really kind of like slow down. Maybe I'll have my morning coffee or my tea and like think about the day. So what is in front of me, what I need to like sort out. And that became like, it's so funny. At first it was just like my routine because that was the way I walk. But now it is like such a ritual. Like even when my son doesn't have school, we'll walk together and I'll do that same kind of walk. Or he'll ride his bike or do a scooter. And it just helps me like start my day where I'm like not in the house. I'm getting some fresh air. And that's like, it's almost like my mind is like, okay, we're starting, you know?
Yes.
I also have an insane amount of like lists. Every week I have these giant Post-it sticky. I will show you, like, I'll show the back of it so you don't see, but I have like these.
Oh, those are huge. Okay. I thought it was like the little one.
I won't show you what's like on it, of course, but like I have these all over my house. So I every month at the end of the month, I like make a list of all the things that like I accomplished and all the things that are like on and I never think of it as like a goal per se. I think of it just work in progress. So it's like if it got it done, it goes on the list for February. Or what is month is this now? March. I'll just like write every month I do. And then at the end of the year, I'll like tally all those up and see what I actually got done, like how the project went through, what I actually need to cross off, what was maybe not realistic or I wasn't being practical about. And I'll kind of reassess like how I did my goals. But I have to see it. So I keep it on these like giant sheets of paper all over my house. So my son is used to it too. So he'll make his little list everywhere. And he's like writing, you know, but like I need to see it in a big way. Like I also keep it in my small journal, but I found over the years, if I just have it in my journal, I won't revisit it. It's harder for me to kind of keep track of. But if it's on this giant piece of paper, like I'll see it. And I also have, you know, the usual things, you know, like going to therapy, like, you know, like making sure I'm taking care of myself, exercising. All those things, they do make a huge difference on my mood and how I feel. And I will say, like, there have been years that have just been incredibly difficult. And it has been, you know, challenging. Post-pandemic, particularly, like after I had my son, I did suffer from postpartum depression. I was going through a very terrible separation that still has consequences to this day that have just been debilitating. But I always go back to that kind of like that baseline of I get to make my own decisions and I get to live the life that I want. And so I'm always trying to design my life in a way that like is full of abundance, it's full of creative freedom, allows me to travel, like allows me to set my own schedule. And so even when there are difficult or challenging moments, I go back to that, like, I made this decision and these are the almost like, I don't want to say consequences, that sounds like.
But like what comes with it, maybe. It's
like these decisions, and I made up this little song for my son. He doesn't like it at the moment, but it's you know, okay, sometimes things are hard, sometimes things are fun. Either way, you got to get it done.
Period. I'm still in that. Yes.
Yes. So I'm singing it to him and I'm singing it to me. Sometimes things are hard. Sometimes things are fun. Either way, you got to get it done. And so I take that like with all the good and all the bad with my life, I got to get it done. There's a lot of things that maybe I don't want to do or I wouldn't have chose for myself, but these are the circumstances. And then there are a lot of wonderful things that, again, I don't know how they came to be, but this is my life. And so I got to take the good and the bad of it, or the challenging, you know, like I take all of that. And it's been such a it's been such an evolution. Like I really feel like I'm constantly growing, and I love the age I am now. I love being in my 40s.
Yes. 40 where? Minding your business, okay?
You know? And like I love it. I really love this age. You know, the 20s were cute. You know, the 30s were doing their thing. You know, we had some, you know, little rough patches, but like I really do feel the most confident. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I trust myself more. And it's a good feeling, it's a really good feeling to feel like I got this,
Yeah.
I wrote that book and if I recently had a circumstance where I was like, I had to really call my community and like they showed up for me, like no
Mhm.
hesitation,
Yeah.
and it feels good to know that you can call on people when you need help, when you need support, when you just need like a pick me up, just to
Mhm.
hang out, watch the pit in your living room. I've been obsessed with that hospital drama over the last couple of weeks. Like once they won an Emmy, I was like, what is this show that won an Emmy? Let me watch this. Um, like it just feels good. And so I'm very grateful to be in the space that I am at this
Yeah.
point of my like creative journey.
I think it goes back to you planting those seeds too. Like you have a community because you planted seeds years ago, you know? So
Yes,
now
yes,
you do have people to call on because when they called on you, you were there, right?
yes, absolutely.
Are your imprints, are they all just fiction or are they everything? So nonfiction, memoirs?
Right now, we're only focusing on fiction.
Mhm.
And it is a goal to expand into other genres, but there's something so special about fiction that I actually feel really confident writing nonfiction, but fiction was the piece where I was like, I really want to learn more about this and be able to just like hone my craft more. So that's why I started there. So far it's only been fiction.
Nice, nice. I think fiction is really important too, especially as I'm thinking about like future generations. Just like be expansive, like use your imagination. My oldest is 11. I'm sorry, I talk about my kids a lot, but
No, I love it.
one thing that he wanted, I said, let's use some time to not be on our phones. Let's not be on the tablet, none of that. No screens. Let's like do something creative. I'm
Mhm.
like, you could read a book if you don't feel like creating something, or you can write something. He's like, well, I like to write, but I like to write screenplays, but I want to use AI to do it. I'm just like, no, babe. I'm just like, AI like is taking stuff from humans. So the original things that you love to watch came from somebody's brain. Like you have
Yep.
to use that muscle. He's like, well, I don't know where to start. I'm just like, well, how about we start by going to a book that you love and seeing how that author like, painted a beautiful picture for you. And maybe you can use that as like a reference. And then even for myself, I realized that as I get older, I feel like my vision has gotten like this. I forgot how to daydream and imagine. So this year has been my duty to myself to read more fiction
I
just to
love
like
that.
open up my brain again. Cause I'm just like, I'm so like focused on this right here, but there's a whole world around me.
When I tell you I overstand because we get so into our daily task
Mhm.
and being able to just like get through the day. There's so much on a daily basis, especially as a mother, to just like negotiate and delegate and doing all these things. So being able to kind of like go back to square one of pretending and
Mhm.
imagining and allowing your kids. I do that all the time. My son really likes Bluey,
Mhm.
and so, like, we'll, like, pause it sometimes, and then I'm like, "Okay, like, you draw Bluey, like, what do you think he's gonna do next? Like, you make up the scene."
Oh.
And, there was one time they had, like, a theater, v video of it. It was, like, a live action or something. Oh my goodness, he, like, lost his mind. He was like,
Oh.
"Y the theater, you can make it." So we were, like, taking cardboard boxes and trying to, like, make it into a whole scene for him, and so I think the simple things, the prompts that you're giving him, it's like it can be so simple. It's just like, but it feels harder. I mean, it feels hard for adult to like
Yeah.
think about like write something. So let alone, 11-year-old, it does feel challenging to like where do you start? And
Mhm.
it's like the research, like, what did you dream about? Like what do you see in the sky? Like even getting them in the habit of feeling that they can be playful and pretend because so often in school it's a right or
Yeah.
wrong answer,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's like introducing environment so it's not about like right or wrong. Like even dance class, like when my son takes his dance class, I'm always reminding him like it's not a competition, it's about expression. Like
Yeah.
express yourself. Like you're not in competition. You can do anything. So you could be like a silly snake or you could
Yeah.
hop on one foot. There's no wrong right way.
Mhm.
There's no wrong or right way to hop on one foot, like
Mhm.
it's all these things, and those are the seeds. Like, it might seem like a little silly thing to say at the time, but later on when they're remembering like, "Oh, I can make this up and I don't have to, like, compete with anyone else. I'm just
Yeah.
doing this for me,
Yep.
for my own like self-worth, my own edification. Like that is the things that we are planning in our boys to let them
Yes.
know that like they can do this and they don't
Yeah.
need a computer,
Nope.
AI or otherwise
Right.
to like imagine a new world.
Yeah.
They can do it within their own mind. And that is so powerful. Like
Yeah.
going to the library and like I love being like, look at all these books. People wrote them with their
Yes.
brains.
Yes. Yes.
They wrote them with their big old brains.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
can do that too.
Absolutely. Yep.
So yeah.
For sure. So you were mentioning that, being a well-read Black girl doesn't have like a specific, like, there's not specific like look and what she's reading and all of those things. So I kind of want to know like a quick little lightning round about, your reading habits. Well, not reading habits, but like your thoughts. Okay.
Okay.
So first thing that comes to mind, don't think too hard about it. Okay, if you have to pick one, physical book, ebook, or audiobook.
Physical.
All right, done. Is there a book that changed your life before the age of 12? So what was like your favorite book?
Oh my gosh, yes. So Honey, I Love, the poetry book, that was one of the first books that I was able to read like from front to back all by myself.
Aww.
And I loved the illustration. There were like these charcoal gray and white illustrations, a little gold. And all the girls, I felt like I was in the book. I was like, oh, they all look like me. So Honey, I love that poetry collection.
Nice. Ooh, who is the most underrated author in Black women's literature right now?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And I'm like looking around on my bookshelf. Fiction, nonfiction, give me some more.
We'll do one fiction, we'll do one nonfiction.
Okay. So I would say one nonfiction person that like people know about, but I feel like more people should know about is Keisha N. Blaine. She wrote a book last year called Without Fear, Black Women and the Making of Human Rights. She is a historian. And I think a lot of people in the academy know her in terms of her scholarship, but I think the larger world should know her work. She does a lot of incredible historical research and just shows like the power and significance of like Black womanhood in politics and like all over the world. I love her work and I respect her highly. In terms of creative fiction, this is so hard for me.
I'm sorry.
This is so hard for me.
Especially since you do so much reading too. So it's like it's a ton of information like to sort through in your mind. Like
I know, I'm like literally I will say she is rather popular. So I mean I don't want to okay. I have to say answer. So the name that is coming to mind for her fiction that I think even more people should name is Morgan Jerkins.
Okay.
I think that like she has continues to build a name for herself, and her last book was incredible. And I think she is an author like we need to continue to watch. Like her star will continue to rise.
Nice.
Like I've just seen her, just like her evolution over the years.
Okay, nice. Okay, so since we're both in our 40s, what is one book every woman should read before 40?
Oh, that's a good one too, honey. I would say Marissa Renee Lee, Grief is Love. Yeah, it's such a beautiful book that talks about loss and helps you think about loss, not just in the context of losing someone in the physical sense, but all the transitions in your life and how to handle them gracefully and still keep yourself together. Because by the time you're 40, you have lost something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have gone through some kind of transition in your life and you are emerging as a new person. So yeah, Grief is Love is definitely a beautiful book to pick up.
Thank you. What is a book that you'd gift to your younger self?
A book that I would give to like how like am I like an elementary
You can pick
school?
maybe a time you needed something the most. You pick. the time frame.
Okay, I will say maybe like in high school. Oh, I mean, I would give my book to my younger self.
Okay, nice. Done. Yes.
I would give her my anthology and my memoir and be like, look what you did, girl.
Aw. Do you think she'd believe you?
Yes, I think she would.
Okay, good.
Yes, she
Good,
probably
good.
thought, I was going to be, because I used to watch like Dateline in 2020 with my mom and dad all the time. She probably thought I was going to be like a journalist like Barbara Walters.
Gotcha.
But gotta happen a little differently.
The last question is, what are you currently reading right now? And for fun.
Oh, that's easy.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm reading Tiari Jones's Kin, which is so
Same.
good. It's so beautifully written and just like warms my heart. I'm also reading Mara Braca Keel's new book, The Revelation of Dion Daphne. Really, really good.
Nice.
And I'm also reading Nasty Work by Erica Hart, which is coming out, I want to say, in April. So these are my three books on my shelf.
Okay, so the last question that I have is, what is something that's bringing you some joy right now? Because, there's a lot happening in the world and things. So what's bringing you some joy?
The thing that continues to bring me joy is reading. Like,
Yes.
I cannot tell you the books that come in my mailbox. It feels like Christmas morning every day. Like, I'm just like, oh, I get a new book. I get a new book. I get a new book. Like, it just does feel good to be able to kind of not doom scroll and block out the world for 15, 20 minutes and sit with a good book. So I'm very grateful that I love reading and that continues to sustain me. And I also am grateful for just like the memories that I get to build with my friends and family, because as these things continue to intensify politically around the world, I think it's more crucial that we get closer knit with our families and just like come together, make memories, like I was sharing, we celebrated my mom's birthday and we took those photos together. It was very intentional. Afterwards, we went to get some Korean barbecue. I'm always just trying to find moments to like just create memories, and I think it's we need it.
For sure.
Be with our families.
Beautiful reminder. Yeah, I got to do better at getting my people together. So where can the people find you online and all of the things?
Yes, please. So I'm still on Instagram. I know there's some amazing book girlies on the internet, but I'm still there. I show up every once in a while. So I'm at Well Read Black Girl on Instagram, and then my website is wellreadblackgirl.org.
Beautiful. Thank you. Your energy, your spirit is just what I needed today. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you for listening to this episode of Be Well Sis. If you'd like to get in touch with us, there's a link in the show notes. Be Well Sis is hosted by me, Dr. Cassandre Dunbar, and produced by Edit Audio. Don't forget to hit follow so you never miss an episode. Until next time, be well, sis.